Danny Pehar learned to deal with some embarrassment at an early age after his parents made him wear his older sister's clothes to school so the family could save a few bucks. And now the Canadian best-selling author has taken that anecdote and others from his life and included them in his new book, Awesome at Being Awesome. In it, he offers life advice ranging from getting through the toughest job interview to getting through the toughest day. And Danny joins us now. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure.
Thank you for being here. You call this the self-help book for people who don't like self-help books.
Yes.
Why is that?
You know, when I wanted to do something different, and so what I did was I spent a lot of time interviewing people that were fans of these kinds of books, asking them, you know, what do you like about them, what do you hate about them? And I think the most common complaint that I would hear would be that generally self-help books tend to be kind of dry, kind of boring. Even when somebody would say, you know, I valued the information within a particular self-help book, it was just so boring I couldn't finish. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to have something that gave valuable information, innovative information, but something that was entertaining enough that the reader would actually finish.
So let's talk about that anecdote that I just mentioned. So I can see how that would be embarrassing. How have you flipped that around? Or what was the sort of epiphany?
So, you know, when I was in school, you know, and I was getting bullied because of my parents', we'll call them low-budget outfit suggestions.
Yeah.
You know, of course, I hated being bullied. I hated being teased. But what I noticed was whenever I was in a safe environment, you know, with my family and friends, and I'd be telling them about the story, ranting about my day, what have you, I noticed that they would laugh with me. Not laugh at me, but laugh with me. And I realized that my worst experiences were actually creating my best stories. And the minute I started looking at my problems as good stories, the minute I started asking myself, you know, what's the good in this bad, all of a sudden the bad days got much easier to deal with.
Speaking of bad days, I understand you were inspired to write this book after an encounter with a cashier who was having a bad day.
Yeah, you know what? That was actually a really impactful moment for me. I was at a grocery store, and a cashier had told me how the last time she had saw me, she wanted to kill herself. And I remembered the conversation that we had had. She was describing it to me, and she had said that basically she had come to work, things have gone horribly wrong, and I had just said, you know, today's going to be a good day. And she said, well, why do you say that? And I said, because there's no lineup. And she said, you know, is it, you know, it must take very little for you. And I said, it's because I'm always looking for a reason. And so she told me that was going to be her reason for holding off that day until eventually she found out that she needed help, right? And it makes you wonder how just the slightest change in perspective can make all the difference.
Sure.
In one of your chapters, you talk about the ABCs of life. What are those?
Attitude, basics, and communication. Having a good attitude, you know, following the basics, and you know, just being courteous to people, calling them back when you say they're going to call you back, or when you say you're going to call them back, rather. And then, of course, properly communicating what is it that you're trying to say.
All right, some great advice. The book is Awesome at Being Awesome. That's an awesome title. Danny Pehar, thank you so much. Good to see you this morning.
Thank you. I like the little blurb on the back as well where people are commenting.
Yeah.
Danny is a good boy. Danny's dad. Thank you very much.
Thank you both very much.
You're watching Global on this Friday morning. We'll be right back. Hope you can stay with us.